Okay, Kim, I made a crude illustration here trying to show the various functionalities and options associated with the Livescribe pen. In the column here, I've indicated first the various ways you can have inputs. You can have inputs either just by using the pen or by using the pen in combination with the iPhone and iPad, where you're linking the pen and the iPhone and iPad via Bluetooth. With either one of these options, you'll get the information over onto your iPad or iPhone using a app called Livescribe Plus that you'll be downloading from the web page. This is where you can store the information, manipulate it, use it, and so forth. But you may not want to always just keep the information there on your iPhone or iPad. You can also, at your option, output it to other devices. For example, you can send it out via email, put it on Evernote, Dropbox, etc. A little more detail here in terms of the options that you have for storage on the Livescribe app. On that Livescribe app, you can either get basically a page kind of rendition, which would be a faithful reproduction basically of whatever you're putting in on the paper. There's also a very interesting application called Feed, which has a lot of flexibility in terms of optical character recognition, storage, and options and so forth. I'll show you more details on it later. And then there is the Pencast. The Pencast is where you have the audio and the notes superimposed on one another, and that's one of the more powerful features of the tool. One key point is that you can basically record only using the pen and the notepad. When you do that, you store your information basically on the pen, and then when you come back and are near your iPhone or iPad, it will sync that information onto the iPhone and iPad. A key point, though, is that when you do that from the pen-only mode, you're only able to get the page and this feed option. You will not be able to do a Pencast. That's because in the pen-only option, you are not recording any audio. In order to record audio, you need to have an iPhone or an iPad, because the system uses the microphones on those devices to record the audio. When you have the pen synced up with the iPhone and iPad, you're able to get all the features. You're able to get the page information over onto the app, you're able to have the feeds, and of course, most importantly, you're able to have the Pencast. One of the suggestions is that if you're trying to record somebody speaking, etc., 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 you'd want to put the iPhone or iPad relatively close to the person that's speaking, so that they'd be able to pick up the voice, and you could be wherever you're sitting taking your notes. It's important to note that the information doesn't just have to live on the Livescribe app. You can take both the, the pages and the Pencasts and send them out to friends and co-workers either via email, or you can store them in Evernote and so forth. There are some slightly tricky procedures and so forth in order to be able to read them. If you send them out on email or Evernote, it involves a proprietary reader, and I'll show you some more details on that later. Given this introduction, I'm now going to spend a couple of pages going through and giving you a bit more details on some of these elements.